Beautiful day for a ride. So I woke up, was editing videos, decided I wanted to check the riding website, see if there were any group rides today. Chances are there was one and it was in 5 minutes. So I threw on my gear, went to the meeting spot, nobody was there. So for the past hour, I've been trying to look for them around the area. I think I know where they are. I'll see if I can find them. If not, I'll do a solo ride. It's fun. I'm exploring new places. Places like this that I never knew existed. So here we go. Q&A time. Had a fun ride, met with those guys, had a blast. Let's do a Q&A because we got some questions. So whatever questions you want answered, put it down below. Whether it's, if you think it's a silly question, whatever. There's no such thing as a dumb question usually. So just put your questions below, whether it's personal, whether it's about my journey, whether it's about nutrition, what I do, what I eat. Put in the comments. So let's get to it. Is it better to overdo it on protein or fat? Short answer is neither. When you have rich carbohydrate foods, so when you have things like rice, corn, potatoes, bananas, dates, any kind of fruit, except for avocado and coconut, the ratios are optimal for what our bodies are designed to eat. 80, 10, 10, or 95, 5. 90% of their calories come from carbohydrate, 10% or less, or 5%, 5 to 10% of protein, 5 or 10%, 5 to 10% of carbs. I mean fat. You can tell it's getting late. Anyway, so you don't. The body can't really handle added fat too well. Can't really handle added protein that well. But personally, from experience, I'd much rather have a little bit more protein than fat, just because I'll feel so much better. I'll feel much better the next day. But like for instance, if I have some beans with rice, I'm going to feel pretty amazing after the meal and the next day. But if I say have rice with I don't know, sautéed vegetables in oil, no, not going to feel good after the meal, and I'm not going to feel good the next day. So I would definitely, but again, that's marginal. Added protein. A few beans on top of your rice, it's really not that big of an issue. So I'll definitely overdo it on protein rather than fat, but when you can, just eat carbs because you'll get the right nutrients. What do you think about processed carbs, like vegan processed food products, assuming they're still low fat, high carb? I mean, they're okay. Like a dried mango is technically a processed food. When you juice a carrot in your juicer that you think is so fancy and healthy, it's technically a processed food. So I don't know. The whole thing with processed foods, I'm guessing you mean like a packaged thing. I don't know. I kind of stay away from stuff because it usually ends up being these weird concoctions, and like a Cliff Bar. I remember having a Cliff Bar last month. I ran out of food in class, and I didn't feel like drinking Tropicana orange juice again. I don't like drinking that stuff. Anyway, so I had that, and it's just, when you're eating so clean and lean and simple, that kind of stuff, I don't know. I'm not really answering your question, am I? It's okay. It's not the best. But, have your backup plans, right? So if you can't get fruit, if fruit's your go-to meal every day, every meal, then have dried fruit available or juiced, organic, non-pasteurized fruit juice, or canned fruit. Organic canned fruit is delicious. Canned peaches, holy cow! And then have your corn, your rice, your potatoes, easily done. And then if you can't get that, then get like the Cliff Bar and the vegan stuff. Still make it low fat, low protein if you can. So I hope that answers your question. I might sound funny because I feel like I'm plagued with allergies. Same thing happened the same week last year, so that's transparency for you. It's weird though. It's only this week, and then it's gone, and then next year it'll be the same thing, I'm guessing. Anyway, enough about that. Enough rambling. Is it better to eat low-fat foods versus the original thing, like fat-free soy milk and fat-free peanut butter, where the fat is replaced with refined sugar? No. The reason why, because, so if you have like a low-fat yogurt, it's actually not low-fat. It's, so if, so regular yogurt around like between 30, usually 40% of the calories are coming from fat in yogurt. So low-fat yogurt is 20%, which is still double the amount of fat that you're supposed to get in a day in ratios. So in other words, when you have the low-fat dressing and the low-fat this, low-fat that, they bump up the protein. So the fat gets bumped down, but the protein gets bumped up because you got to keep the sugars low because sugar is bad. So you're getting added protein, which we know is not good for the kidneys and your general function. So it's artificially low as well. So like a 1% milk or skim milk still contains like 20% of its calories coming from fat. So it's not a low-fat food. Even these low-fat foods aren't low-fat foods. And even if they were, it's just like this concoction of chemicals and just these plant foods, whole plant foods. You'll feel amazing. There's a reason why I still do these videos after almost 3 years in August. There's a reason why I'm doing these videos. So, anyway, next question. Do you work out consistently? If you do, what kinds of workouts do you do? I know that eating a good vegan diet can give you more than enough energy and makes me feel amazing, but I want to exercise also and lose a little weight. What do you think? Consistently, yes. Constantly, no. Hard, no. I'm sort of a lazy person. I don't. I do what I do. So I usually bike to class. Well, now I graduated, so can't bike to class. Well, I'll still bike, but anyway, usually 5 days a week I would bike to class. 4 miles in, 4 miles out. Sometimes I do that twice a day. So 60 miles sometimes. Usually just 8, which is nothing. If you're a cyclist, 8 miles on the bike is nothing. But sadly it's more than most people do. Most people don't even walk a day. They don't even move their legs, which is so foreign to what our ancestors would have been doing. Would have been moving all day. So anyway, so consistently, yes, I do, and a few times a week I'll do a few longer rides. Maybe even just like once a week. I'll do a few longer rides, 20, 30, 40 miles. And but it'll just be easy. It'll be at conversational pace with friends. But then when I hit the hills, I'll hit them hard. And I like to sweat. So I'll be sweating a little bit, heaving a little bit. And I like to live a life of fun and adventure and just playing around. So I love when I hang out with my nephew because he doesn't get anybody to play with. I don't get anybody to play with. So we, play around and play tag and, I carry him around, so it's weightlifting. When I go to the grocery store, I don't get a cart. So I pack up my canvas bags full of bananas, usually around 80, and then I just carry them with my hands, not my feet, and my potatoes as well. Every time somebody goes, "Do you want a cart? Do you want a bed?" And I say, "No, this is my gym." I have nothing against the gym if that's what you want to do. If you want to get swole, if you want to get the lean gains, if you want to get the arm strength, protein isn't going to do it. It's lifting heavy weights is what's going to do it. So I kind of want to get super, super lean so I can get better at cycling. I mean, that's right now. In the future I might do something else. But to go back around to answer your question, consistently, yes, but it's really not that much. It's diet that's the big issue. A lot of people think it's oh well, if I do this, if I work out more, it's just I gotta eat less and I gotta work out more. How do you think you're gonna have the energy to work out more if you eat less? Oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, oh well, I'll just drink coffee. Do you really want to do that? You really want to mess up your adrenals like that? Freak out your metabolism because you're drinking coffee or doing stimulants? So anyway, let's keep it going. If that doesn't answer your question, put in the comments below. Hey, Banana Beard didn't answer my question. Ask it again. So another question, and this same thing for any question, because I know I get on tangents. Anyway, is brown rice better or is white rice better? A lot of people think that white rice is the devil for some reason, because they get it confused with white bleached enriched rice, like Wonder Bread or white enriched flour, which is sort of like really really processed, and it's sort of devoid of the nutrients that the whole grain would have had, or the whole food would have had. So when you process something, you get rid of all these, you get rid of all the nutrients, or a lot of the nutrients. So a lot of people confuse white rice with that white bleached enriched rice, which isn't bad. It's like white sugar. It's not bad at all. It just doesn't have as much nutrients as fruit would, fruit sugar would, all those things that were designed to have. It's like when you give a bee sugar water, which they do when they steal the honey. You give the bee sugar water, yeah, the bee's going to have energy up the wazoo because it needs sugar to run, but it's not going to have the nutrients that it needs. So, anyway, to get back to the question, say this is what happens. White rice, brown rice, whichever one you like better. I like white rice better. Organic, white, basmati rice is the bee's knees with cat's pajamas. So, whichever one you like, whichever one, it's a toss-up. So, another quick question. Why don't you eat beans? I do eat beans, just not that much. Because I don't feel as good after. I'll have it like as a condiment, rather than a meal. So if it's in a dish, I'll just use it as a condiment. I use lentils as a condiment too. I don't really like to have them as meals because they're higher in protein, lesser in carbohydrates. I feel best when I have a high carbohydrate intake, lower protein and lower fat. But if that works for you, then do it. What type of computer do you own? I own this. Spaceship Model X. Yeah, it's just a Mac. Anyway, so last question. What do you think about late night eating? I think, for me at least, if I make sure I eat an hour or more before I go to sleep, before bed, I'll feel a lot better. If I eat, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour before I go to bed, I'm not going to feel well because my body's going to be busy digesting and not busy sleeping, resting. So your body's always doing something. Resting is a verb for a reason. Digesting is a verb. But to answer the question, I do late night eat. So if I get home from rehearsal or work or something and I'm hungry, I'm going to eat. First I'm going to drink water. And if I'm still hungry, I'm going to eat. Because a lot of times I'm just thirsty. But I'm going to eat. So I'm going to eat whether it's, a few bananas or some dried mangoes, sugar water, potatoes, rice. But then, I go to bed and, I pay for it just because I'm not going to fall asleep as quickly. And it's not a bad thing, but it's not the best thing. So the best thing would be to eat your meals an hour or more before bedtime. An hour is really all you need. Have enough so you don't have to wake up in the middle of the night and be like, oh my God, I'm starving. Which happens once in a while when, you're unorganized and, things are flying and can't stop crying and you're eating bananas, but you got no lanas and schizophrenia. Anyway, so I hope that answers the question. I think it does. Maybe. If it doesn't, like I said, put the thing in the below. What? Okay, I guess it's definitely bedtime. So put your comments down below. What do you guys think What do you guys want to see? Do you want to see more what I eat videos? Do you want to see quicker videos, shorter videos, funnier videos, more informative videos? Do you like the interviews that have been popping up? Do you want me to interview friends of mine? What do you guys want to see? Put it in the below. The thing with the most things up will get the most. That's the one I'll do. Anyway, I gotta learn how to speak. So yeah, and yeah. So if you like this video, like this video. If you don't like it, I don't care. But if you can do like it, like it. If you'd like to subscribe, you can see more of these videos from the subscribe button up there. Or is it there? I don't know. They must change it sometimes. So yeah, put your questions down below. I'll be happy to answer them. I look at all the comments. Might not answer all the comments, but I'll do a video like this once in a while. If you like this video, like this video. So anyway, to the bedtime, spaceship mobile, yeah. And may your bananas always be right. And remember to live simply so others can simply live.